our sponsors. We don't just take their money and run like a Butterbar lieutenant lost on a land nav course. Are you finally ready to plant your flag and claim your territory? Maybe it's time to use that VA loan to buy a home. Or hell, maybe you're looking to refinance and put some extra cash in your pocket for more questionable life decisions. Either way, the Veterans Mortgage Source, powered by Canopy Mortgage, has your six. Look, buying a home or refinancing can feel like getting overrun on a bad op. Chaotic, confusing, and full of obstacles that make no damn sense. That's where Corey and his team come in. They're like the QRF of home loans, ready to pull you out of the chaos and guide you to the best program for you. And trust me, they'll answer all your questions. Yeah, even the dumb ones. Whether you're a salty vet or fresh out of barracks still trying to figure out where your TA-50 went. Great service, solid rates, and a team that actually understands the military life. That's why all of us here at Veteran Trash Talk trust them to do right by every veteran and their family. Ready to lock it in? Give Corey a call or shoot him a text at 808-699-7874. That's 808-699-7874. Don't wait. Unless you like overpaying and getting treated like an FNG. The Veterans Mortgage Source is powered by Canopy Mortgage, LLC. All loans are subject to credit and property approval.
Hey, what is up, mental health warriors? Hope everybody's having a great and wonderful week so far. As you can see, my guest from last week, Anna, is back. Super excited to have her back on the show. Last week I thought she kind of flaked out on me, but she didn't. And she popped in the middle of the show. Turned out to be a really great show last week, though. A lot of great feedback, actually. So she's actually back on the show. I logged onto her website. We'll jump into that in a little bit. I was able to create a couple of coins, and we're going to go through that. It was quite a fun process, actually, and I kind of enjoyed it. And so before the show, we were playing along with that, along with talking about other stuff. We got caught up on that. But hey, before I jump into all that, I want to talk about our sponsors we got going. Really appreciate them. They enable us to continue with what we're doing with our mission to ensure that everybody can live the best life that they can, with no matter what went on in your past. Life's too short not to enjoy it. Like Dolce Vita, it's very important. As a suicide survivor, I understand what it's like to have those dark days. And I also understand what it's like to really love the light again, really start to enjoy life. But with that, you can scan that QR code up there in the upper left-hand corner for Visa Across America. It's truly amazing with what they do and have memorialized the veterans during the holiday season there. You can also personalize the wreath if you want to have laid down if you have a loved one or a family member or a friend. It's just really great. So scan that QR code. They have lots of fundraisers going on now. But I found out the other day, because as you know, Reads Across America Radio replays this podcast Fridays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. And it's super easy to find. And remember, I used to say you could download the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, or the Odyssey app and search for Wreath to find Reads Across America Radio. Well, Jeff emailed me the other day, and Reads Across America Radio now has their own app. And so now you can download the Reads Across America Radio app and to listen to all the great programming. And so he had let me know about it because he wanted me to. I got a little sunburn today. I just noticed that. He wanted me to test it here in Italy, and it actually worked here in Italy. And so super excited about that. So you still can use the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, or the Odyssey app, but download the Reads Across America Radio app and you'll be able to listen to all the music and all the great podcasts they have. Because not only my great podcasts, they do have a lot of great podcasts out there that covers all kinds of things. And I'm sure you'll find one that you will absolutely love. Not as much as this one, but maybe close to it. But hey, with it, you got 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirits up there. We'll throw their website up there and a little QR code to save a little bit of money. I know my Italian friends are super excited that I'm going back to the United States. Yes, I'm going back to the States May 6th. I'll be gone for a month. My oldest son is graduating from college, so I'm flying in for his graduation. And then I just had some personal things I need to take care of with rental properties and other things like that. But hey, 10th Mountain Whiskey, they have really great bourbon. They have really great cordial. I know out here, the Italians love the cordial. And so I need to get my order in for Chris so he can have that shipped to his house so then I can bring it back with me. But go ahead and give them a look. See, if you haven't tried their stuff, please go out there and look at it. And you know what? I'm pretty sure interest rates are going to start coming down on mortgages. If you saw the video before the program started with Veterans Mortgage powered by Canopy Mortgage, scan that QR code. They will answer any questions you have or concerns, or maybe you want to look at, refinancing your house. Maybe you want to look at your VA loan. If you haven't used your VA benefits or your VA loan, you really need to look into that. It's an easy process, and as a veteran, you should be doing that. You should be using those benefits that you are entitled to. All right, with that, you have PCS to Paradise. If you're still active duty and you're being stationed in Hawaii, lucky you. Second best to Italy. But if you're being stationed in Hawaii, you can scan that QR code and be more than happy for you to find your temporary house while you're there in Hawaii. And I know they do wonderful work there because I have several of my friends here in Italy. They were supposed to go to Germany and they wound up getting shipped to Hawaii, and they were able to help them find a house, and they're very happy with that. So, with all that, Anna, I'm gonna take a drink of wine here because I discovered. I'll see so you guys can see it. So I got this wine from a place called Ad Hoc, which is a store that we can shop at here in Italy. This is one of the best wines, red wines I've had. And so I'm going to enjoy it tonight during the show. So this is me having a glass of wine. I am in Italy, so I need to drink wine, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I guess. But I don't really drink that much. But anyway, Anna, please reintroduce yourself to the audience. Just tell us a little story about yourself. It could be funny or just anything. And then we're going to jump into the coin thing here in a little bit. But tell everybody all about yourself. Because you're pretty big. You're a pretty big person out there. You're kind of and down on the down low and stuff. But when you read your bio, you've done some pretty amazing things. So don't be afraid to talk about yourself.
That's kind of you to say. I'm just making it up as I go along. So, thanks for the vote of confidence. I appreciate being allowed back on the show despite my very erratic performance last time. You guys should do like a forfeit for guests when they're late. They have to do jumping jacks or sing a song or something. Not for me though, for like everyone else. So I'm the founder of Braav, which is a company that does two things, and I'm very proud of both of them. But I'm here to probably talk a little bit more about the second. But I'll kind of
because you have a security company too. We didn't talk about that last podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll tease the first a little bit, but when we actually launched initially as a security company, and it's a little bit of a fish out of water story for me because I'm not a veteran, I'm not a first responder, and I really dove into the industry because I had.
Yeah, but you're a pretty cool person, so we'll allow you to jump in.
I snuck in. I climbed over the gate haphazardly, and so far no one's noticed that I'm here. I've been allowed to stay. But I had a lot of funny fish out of water type of experiences starting Braav because I had, I'll kind of rewind a little bit. I had a very keen conviction that I understood the customer side of the equation for private security because I had done a lot of research. It was very easy for me to put myself in the shoes of the buyer. And what we discovered when doing all that research is that from a buyer perspective, there was an opportunity to deliver a product with better product market fit. So we came out with a fractional chief security officer solution that we've been delivering to human resources departments, to building managers, to mid-sized companies, and that has been to great acclaim. Companies have really enjoyed the way that we position the product. But to get to starting it, I had to go in and really build build network and develop relationships within an industry that I had no idea about. Like before I started Braav, I truly knew, I think 0 people who had served, 0 first responders. And I went in with probably a good deal of like trepidation, really expecting, because I watched like movies, like that was my knowledge base. Yes. So I was really expecting like someone with a machine gun to be like, stay in your lane, lady, you don't know what you're talking about. And instead, everyone was just so kind, right? Like so welcoming, so thoughtful, really eager to help. I met a ton of folks who were like, hey, here's my card. I think you're thinking about this in the right way. Let me know if you want to talk. Let me know if I can introduce you. And it was just so charming. It was kind. It was charming. And it, I think that experience started to, grow what was already a deep appreciation for people that risk their lives to serve our country, and really led me to this drive to launch the Challenge Coin platform, which I can dive into now, or we can pause or discuss anything else if I get a little long-winded. If you give me the mic, I'll just keep going.
But with your security company, it's a Braav. Say that again.
Yeah, Braav Security. The official name is just Braav Inc. And
it's because of that you got that. Obviously, you hired veterans, and you got to know veterans and kind of hear their stories and kind of understand. Veterans were a little bit different crowd. We have a little different personality, different humor about us. Different things that some people may look at a coin, and to them it's just a coin. They're like, well, why does this have so much meaning to you? And I'm pretty sure, and I may be wrong, but I don't think I am, that this is kind of where you kind of got the idea from, right? I mean, the veterans had to talk about. I mean, because some of them still carry coins around. I'm sure some of your employees did, that they had during their time in service.
No, absolutely. I think my first experience was being gifted coins, and the very first time it happened, I was so intrigued and enchanted. I was like, this is so cool, but what the heck is it?
Mm-hmm.
And then I began to dig in. Obviously, I learned and was told about the story of how the tradition started, the guy that was shot down. I was told variants. I think I've heard a couple of different versions of the drinking tradition. And, a lot of people told me stories about coins that were really meaningful, right? Like there were moments where they felt really seen, where they did something that they were really proud of, that they felt really described them as a human being. And they also told me, like, gosh, I'd love to know who else has the same coins, because I know I can tell a lot about a person by seeing what coins they have. So, all these thoughts were kind of percolating, and we decided to throw up a super simple alpha product and test it and see how people reacted to the opportunity to preserve the parts of the coin that matter, which really are, the story and the intent behind it and the narrative of how it was earned. And we had just tremendous uptake and positivity around it. I expected some skepticism, and certainly there was a little bit of like, oh, it's digital, it's blockchain, what is that? But people reacted really well to this idea of like, let's share your story. And I'll tell you one more thing. I think from a social science perspective and a mental health perspective, often people want to share, but it's really hard to take the first step. I think you'll agree with that, right? It's just sort of like opening the door to those conversations. And what I loved about the coins is that they were really like easy and approachable way to kind of start talking, because as I chatted with veterans and first responders, I had so many questions, but I was really, really worried about asking the wrong ones, right? Asking something that would be that would be inappropriate or impertinent or impolite. And with a coin, there's a little bit of gating around it, right? It felt very comfortable saying, "Tell me about this coin," as opposed to asking something else that felt more invasive and scary, but that maybe someone would be open to talking about, but maybe not, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's interesting. So I have a very unique coin. Of course, it's in storage. I don't have it with me. And I'm going to throw it up there in the chat, and then I'm going to tell everybody what it is after I throw it up in the chat. And so I actually have a CIA coin from when General Petraeus was the director of the CIA.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is probably a coin that not a whole lot of people have. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. I had a friend of mine, he worked security for him, and he was able to get that for me. And so that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. I hopefully you get that out of storage at some point and can upload it to our site, as well as the storage.
When I have the rest of my household goods shipped from the America to Italy, then I'll have access to it then.
Yeah, there you go. We can do it then. But yeah, I think that's sort of the story of how we started building. And early days when you're making something, and I've built product before, you're not quite sure how it's going to go. We were like, we think it's a really good idea, but I was nervous because this isn't my community that I'm sort of a native of. I think now I certainly consider that I'm at least like adjacent or somewhere in the periphery. But I thought I could be laughed out of the room. People could be like, "This is stupid." And the response was just so positive, overwhelmingly positive on the alpha, super positive on the beta. At this point, we've onboarded paying clients that are minting coins. We are onboarding some nonprofits. We're onboarding a ton of users. And just so much excitement around seeing the platform come to life.
And now it's still in the beta testing, right? It's live. People can see it. People can do stuff, but it's not 100% completely live yet, right?
Yeah, so it's gated. As I said on the previous show, I'll repeat this. If anyone wants access, feel free to put yourself on the wait list and comment that you saw us on Mental Health Warrior, Veteran Trash Talk, and we will instantly take you off of the wait list and let you onto the platform. But it's for sure still in development. We've got a mobile app coming out within the next 3 to 4 months. We're setting up a storefront for fundraisers, which means that organizations can sell their digital and eventually digital and physical coins as a fundraiser. I know we've had a bunch of organizations ask for that. And then we have a lot of social elements that were, as I talked about last time, of like the heart, the thumbs up, the messaging. I think we're still fine tuning all of that. So I am really proud of the site. I think it's pretty darn good, but expect it to get a ton better in the next, 3 to 6 to 9 months.
Well, so what, and of course, you guys, if you read the promo for the podcast, I said that I went in and, of course, after the show, I have access to the website. I went in and created an account. Super easy to do, by the way. And I actually created a couple of coins. And what we're going to do is Anna going to bring up the site. These are the coins that I made, with the site, and we're going to kind of walk you all through it. And so if you're listening and you want to do this or give it a shot, you'll be more than welcome to. We'll share the link out there to it, and you won't have to do it. But with that, Anna, why don't you go ahead and bring up my coins and kind of what we messed with before the show started, and then I'll get the website link and share it while you're doing that.
Yeah, you got it. So let's go ahead and
let me see.
There it is. Okay, perfect.
It's all coin.brava, right?
Allcoin.braav.co, and I actually put it in my title too, underneath my name, so it should be displaying here. So here we are. We created a couple cool things for Cliff. First of all, here's the site. Before we start to play around, I'll just give everyone a very quick tour. you can go ahead and take a look at what a profile looks like. So this is one of my advisors, David Weiner. These are a bunch of physical coins that he uploaded, and they're lovely. And this is what they look like, right? These are beautiful images. They turn in space. And then if you click, should you feel inclined, you can also add things like the date that you acquired it and a story. So I know
But
this
there's no
coin is
cost.
very
There was no cost. I didn't pay anything when I did this. It was all free, all gratis.
absolutely. So
For the
Cliff,
virtual coins. For the virtual coins.
so you're a little bit special in that. So part of this, so this part where you upload the physical coins is free for everybody continually. Create and mint is gated, and so we normally charge for that, and occasionally we will gift some complimentary digital coins to folks doing nonprofit work that we love. So you were on that list, and so this part, if you're interested, it's early days, and so if you're interested, reach out and chat with me about it. I'm sure we can make something work in terms of your listeners. But so for everyone else, when they click create and mint, that part will be gated. So you need to reach out and we'll have a conversation. But anyone can go ahead and upload the coins. Then you can share either individual coins. So you could hit click on a coin, view the details, and then copy the link to share it. Or you can actually go ahead and share this whole page. And say, hey, check out my coin page.
And then but for somebody to look at your coins, you either have to give them public access or do you have to send them a link with permission to look at your coins on your site, like my own personal site or the site that you're showing now? Or can you make them public where everybody can see, whoever can see? Is that what you're showing now, the public site?
So the public page shows the coins that are publicly visible to people that have your page. So for someone to come on the site without being a member of the site and just find this would be hard. It wouldn't be impossible, but it would be hard. So that's kind of how we've, and by the way, then you can also.
Well, that's good to know that, at least you have to join in order to go in and see it. That makes sense. Yeah.
And you can go ahead and click and drag the coins so you can reorder them and change the order in which they appear. So these are my digital coins. And I'll show you this very cool one. So this is one of my other advisors, William Ray's. He's an active duty Navy SEAL. He's in charge of special warfare recruiting. And his coin, so this is the difference. A digital coin can also take media. So you can add that to the coin. So when you're sharing that with people, you're not just limited to the image. You can add photos, you can add video. Certainly you can add a bunch of text. So we made this really cool video for him, which basically tells the story of his career in the SEALs. If you're okay with it, I'd love to play like the first 10 to 12 seconds so that people can get a sense for what these look like.
Okay, sure. Awesome. And just so I want to remind everybody, see me looking down.
Sorry.
I run on different sites, so as you're talking, I'm answering questions on different social media sites.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll go ahead and hit play.
Yep, sorry.
I'll pause there. You get the idea. Further here, I think we have a cool shot of him. There's a video of him jumping out of a plane.
And this is a video that he made himself and uploaded it.
Yeah, so we actually helped him make this video, but generally users would. So this is the sort of thing that either users would make themselves or we're working on getting a team available to make videos for users, and so there would be a cost for this part because this takes time to kind of put all of this together. But users can certainly do it on their own. And then the cool thing is once there's an interesting transfer history, you could see a transfer history, and I'll kind of show like this is interesting. This is a war game that was recently used.
Do you know how? Oh, that's a cool coin.
It is a super cool coin. So Shattered Sky is a war game run by Jeremy Boss, who's amazing, and he's used our platform a couple of times now to distribute coins for the war game participants. So here you could see, Jeremy made the coin, then Jeremy sent it to Ryan, and then if Ryan decides to send the coin to someone else, you would see that. And this is on the blockchain, and this is also, I describe it as digital cement. So Ryan can't say that he got this coin from someone other than Jeremy Boss, because it's fixed here, and that's visible. And you can also see he got the 10th coin in the series, and we're actually going to add a mint number of X out of X so that you could see how many coins exist. I think there are very few of these coins out there.
Oh, okay. So, have you guys determined what is it going to be, like a membership fee that you pay? Is it going to be once you guys get to that point, or what? Or is it a cost per? How are you going to do the electronic coins? The
Yeah. So right now it's cost per coin. And we're doing $1 per coin, which gets you, I'll show you, gets you not only the ability to mint the coin, but once
the
you're an
virtual coins, what I'm
issuer,
talking about, I guess I should say.
exactly, yeah, the virtual coins, yeah. But once you've issued a virtual coin, you get to see everyone that you've issued it to. You get to see the date that it was sent. And this can be really helpful for folks running fundraisers. This can be helpful for any issuer that wants to ensure that they have a relationship with their recipients, right? And that kind of helps you keep track of it. And you can actually push additional data to your coins. So we're about to launch what we're calling the living coin. So you can update it with more photos and more information.
Nice. Well, so we created one coin before the show. And so if you were paying attention, Brian wants to know what your degree in. He missed that part.
Thank you for asking. I haven't been asked that in a very long time.
You went to some small school, right? On the East Coast?
Just a tiny one. East Coast. Yeah.
It's one that people hardly even know.
So my undergrad degree from Harvard is in information technology policy and economics, which is a mouthful because I made it up myself. There was a special concentration program where you get to build your own degree. And at the time I was like, ooh, the longer name sounds cool. That's what you think when you're 21. And then my master's is in history of science.
Yeah. So did you get that, Brian? Information technology, right?
Information technology policy and economics.
Oh, policy. Yes. I forgot the policy part. It's very important.
It is. I actually, I feel like I pick long names that I always.
A couple of the jobs I had in the military. We'll jump back to the coin here in a second. But of course, I was a contracting officer representative, but also as a program manager for many IT systems. And so I programmed multiple building IT systems from the ground up to track maintenance and other things with the aircraft. So that was one of the things that I did when I was in the military. So
that's amazing. Okay, so this is all right up your alley.
That's why I was asking about the beta and all this other stuff. I kind of knew what was going on with it. That's why.
Yeah. Absolutely, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So let's get back to the thing, because you had really cool coin look. Of that Phoenix looked pretty awesome.
The Phoenix looked amazing. So I'm going to show you. So let's see.
The best colors ever.
Yes. What is that beautiful coin?
Oh, there you go. So if you guys don't know, this is one of the coins that we created, of course, along with the Mental Health Warrior podcast. You guys know I'm an inspirational speaker. I travel all over the world doing speaking events, and this is actually my registered trademark. And we made it into a coin, and it was super easy to do. And so you guys will notice the next one next to the coin. We'll show the one for the Mental Health Warrior here in a minute. But so if you see the one on the right, that's the one I uploaded. That's my template that I uploaded. And then while we were talking, Anna made it into a coin. And that's a pretty awesome looking coin.
I think it's beautiful. I think we should mint it too, so you could have the physical coin and the digital twin.
I know I might have to do that. I probably will do that. And so, you guys, if you don't know about the Phoenix, you should know the story about the Phoenix. But the little cloud that you see coming off the bottom of the bird, the Phoenix, that's actually a Chinese symbol for good luck.
Hmm, that's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
That's this. Oh, I didn't know that. And if you are on our site and you're looking at Cliff's page and you're like, well, he and I have already been messaging, but you can also message on the site if you find someone whose coins you love and you have a question. So it's one of the features. So now, should we go and make a coin?
Yep. So that's the one for the podcast and the Crew Dolce Vita. Let's make the Crew Dolce Vita one into a coin. So if you guys don't know, that's my touring company that I started here in Italy. And I just uploaded that during the show. So you want to try to turn that one into a coin? So we just want to show the process, how easy it is.
Yeah, let's do it. So let me.
That's right, Brian. These are cool.
Okay. So
I do like that. That'd be something good to hand out when I'm doing my speaking events. I do have my book that I sell too, but I could do a coin too.
So I'm using Gemini. You can use a bunch of different AIs. We could do.
It just says Clifford Bauman, My Story of Hope, Brian, on the back. He's asking what the coin says on the back.
Mm-hmm. Sure, and you could do all sorts of. We could get super fancy, but let's have it do this one and see.
You could have whatever you want on the back, right? Yeah, you could
have whatever you want on the back. We could play with this a little bit, and I can show you the cool thing about so it takes it a few minutes while it's creating this image. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, it decided to put more stuff on the coin. I don't speak Italian. We could have it delete that. What do we think?
I don't know. I can't read it. What does it say?
Per la dolce vita in alto.
La dolce vita in alto.
Membro del crew distinto.
Yeah, switch to Spanish. That's okay. Yeah, you can take that off, but the crew dolce vita. But that coin turned out good too. That's a nice looking coin too.
Show me just the front separately. Let's do that. Let's have it show me the front. And I love how it's a little glinty.
No, that's okay. For me, it's 11:35 at night, so it can be glitchy.
There you go. And so here, while that's doing that, I want to show you. Actually, that was fast. Okay, great. It's got the front one. Now let's do. Now give me just the back button.
Now you're making the coin here. If I'm on the website, I can do the same thing.
So this is
do I need your help, or do I have to request that? Hey, make this into a coin to you guys, or is that something I do myself?
So for the clients that have purchased the digital coins, depending on the number of coins that they've purchased, sometimes we'll throw in some creative services. But
just like when I order my T-shirts, if I order so many, they throw in the design for free or whatever.
Exactly. But we consider this coin design. We have a little bit of AI enabled on the site, but I will tell you we're using the cheapest one, so I don't recommend using it at this moment. The coins won't look amazing. We at one point had a more expensive AI, but when people were testing and playing with it, the imaging is expensive. So if you're having a ton of people making a ton of coins, it's easy to look at it and be like, oh, this person spent $40 in one day on my platform, and then multiply that by 1,000, and suddenly it's like your bills are going through the roof. So that's why we say, and plus the people that want to make their own coins on AIs generally have AIs that they like. So they're like, oh, I want to make this on Nano Banana, or I want to make it on I want to make it through ChatGPT. So we've kind of let people do that. But now, we have this beautiful coin. So what I would do is I could either download it, or I'm going to be lazy. I'm just going to cut and paste it. And then I'm going to flip back here.
All the things that you're doing, I will be able to see on my site now, right? Or at some point.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? All the things that like, will you see the
Oh,
coin
to see
when
the
you're saying?
coins that you made, the
Yes.
round coins.
Yeah. Once I mint it, so I will mint it. Let's see. What do we want to name the coin?
Kudo to Vita, I guess.
Great. I'll call it Crudo Chivita coin. So, what website would you like to have this go to?
www.crewdolcevita.com.
Okay, great. Do you have a coin story you want me to put in, or just leave it for now?
You can just leave it blank for now.
Okay. Okay, perfect. If we had a couple paragraphs, we would put it in here. So I
I mean,
suggest,
instead of reading off the paragraph, I can add it later.
yeah, so sort of. So
Yeah, okay.
minting a coin is kind of like digital cement. So you can add it to a different portion of the coin. Um, this part you wouldn't really edit after we've minted it, but I can help you figure that out. For
Yeah,
the purposes, I'm doing this as though I'm the creator. So the creator of a coin would really want to have this ready when they were getting ready to mint. But I'll talk you through a couple of things. So encryption. We put the encryption on there because we were getting questions around, hey, what if I have a CIA or an FBI coin that I'm not allowed to talk about? And so when we encrypt it, it goes on the blockchain encrypted, and so no one can scan the blockchain and find information. So you could
oh, I
see
see. But if I
basically
wanted to
that
share that with somebody, I could through the blockchain.
you could, if you wanted to share it, you would share it through our site, and it would be decrypted just for the person you shared it with.
Yes. Okay. Nice.
That said, right now, we recommend everyone turn off encryption unless they talk to us first, because there are sort of pros and cons around how that would work. That unless there's a really acute security reason, we would recommend not encrypting at this point. So anyway, so supply limit is how many coins you're making. I suggest setting this lower. You can edit this afterwards.
Okay.
Partially because of the way our system works. If I put
If you want
2,000,
to describe the coin, you could just put Crew Dolce Vita offers exclusive tours for flight crews, providing adventures in Napoli, Italy, or something like that.
here, let me just- okay,
Perfect.
fabulous. Let's.
Now that does spell check too, right? Because I need spell check nowadays.
You know what's funny? It actually does not do spell check,
Oh
and
no!
I'm delighted that you said that because I literally am going to right now
Hey,
message my development team and write,
Brian
please
asked,
add.
does it have a microchip in it? And it says, just for Brian, we'll put a microchip in it.
We talked about that in terms of getting physical coins with a microchip that are scannable. Long conversation. We decided not to do it yet, but it's definitely an option in the future. For minters, I'll just mention this. If I put 2,000, it's going to take our system a while right now. So what I always say is put a low supply limit, and then I'll show you where you just keep increasing it as you need to make more coins. So I hit create and mint.
I just put in there, we're going to offer satellite tracking too for all the people out there. I'm joking. I'm joking, everybody. She's not going to offer satellite tracking.
And we'll offer lemonade, right? Anytime you buy a coin, you get a cold glass of lemonade. How's that?
Yeah, there you go. But it's I have to admit it was kind of fun to mess around and do this, and I think for a lot of veterans out there, like myself, like Brian, and the other ones listening to the show, or somebody's listening to the radio show on Friday. And oh, by the way, if you listen to the show on Friday, obviously you can't see with what we're doing with the coins, but you can log on to my social media or the Veterans Trash Talk social media and see the live video, or on my YouTube page. You can also watch it because we do go live on YouTube also. And so you can watch it there also. So, Anna, I want to say thank you for coming back on the show and sharing all coins with us and going through the demonstration. I hope everybody out there listening. So as we are wrapping up the show, it's amazing how both those coins turned out really awesome.
It's gorgeous. And I want to just add one more thing. It has
Go
the
ahead.
background. The background will be stripped by our software. We just decided to first show it as soon as possible, and then it'll work in the background. So if I refresh a couple of times, it'll disappear. Just like on this coin, we don't have any background.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
Well,
we'll give it a second.
as people can see who's watching the podcast or watch the podcast later, you can see it's a very easy process to do. If you are listening to the radio show, you can go to their website, and you'll be be able to see everything that we talked about. And the website is allcoin.braav.co, and you'll be able to see what we're talking about if you are listening to the podcast on Reads Across America Radio. But Anna, we got to wrap this up. So, do you have any final words for anybody? It was a great pleasure having you on. You're a really great guest.
So kind of you. It's always so fun. I should have been late today, so I could have had an excuse to come back next week.
Well, next week I'm flying to the United States on Wednesday, so probably won't have a podcast next week. But we'll get you scheduled back on at some point. But if you come back on, you have to tell funny stories, because there's always funny IT stories, and I have a lot of them. And so maybe we ought to do that one time, just talk about funny IT stories.
We'll swap blooper stories. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, and some of the military people did some really, really silly things when we're working in the NOC and we're running scans, and we tell people don't have certain things on your computer, and people don't listen.
Oh, I have to hear those. I don't want to
leave. The next thing you know, we're there with security escorting them out of the building. So.
Oh, geez, that bad. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we'll definitely. We have to do that one. That'd be fun. But hey, it'd be a good time. It'd be fun. I got some stories. The stupidity of people surprises me sometimes, especially with inside the government, especially with inside DOD. And I get it. Back 26 years ago, the computers were different. A terabyte of information was incredible. Now your cell phones have that much. It's just crazy. But even nowadays, people still do stupid things, so it's quite funny. But hey, with that, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Anna, I want to thank you for coming back on the show, allowing me to create the coin, showing people how easy it is to make the coin and upload it. For veterans, we all have stories. We all have that one thing that brings us back, maybe a memory of a buddy or a friend or somebody like that, and you have that coin. But with that, you got Reads Across America. You can scan that QR code. You can donate a REIT during the holiday season. It's truly amazing with what they do. For $10, $15, you can help ensure that continues. They also have many fundraisers going on. And just as I said early on in the broadcast, Reads Across America Radio, yes, they have a radio show. If you don't know, you should know if you listen to this every day, or when you do listen to it once a week. But they do have a radio show. They do replay this podcast at Fridays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. Super easy to find. You can download the Reads Across America radio app. They have a radio app. They just got it up and running. I just tested it the other day here in Italy. But if you have the iHeartRadio app or the TuneIn app or the Odyssey app, it's okay. You can still use that. We all got lots of apps on our phone, and you can create a folder and shove it in there and have your radio app phone in there, your little folder on your phone. So it'll be all right. But hey, with that, it's pretty great. But 10th Mountain Whiskey, I talked about them early on. It's really amazing. They have not only great bourbon, but they have great. They still have the moonshine, right, Chris? I think they still do moonshine. But their cordial is really great and amazing. So, give them a look, see if you're having a party. I'm telling you, will not be disappointed. But interest rates will be coming down. You have Veterans Mortgage, powered by Canopy Mortgage. Scan that QR code. They'd be more than happy to help you maybe take out a loan and have some coins made. Maybe you would have some coins made. And you know what? We'll be there to help you with that, no problem. Probably won't have to take out a second mortgage in order to do that. But hey, if you wanted to, maybe have a little bit left over because your wife didn't spend quite as much building her sea shed or the he shed in the backyard. But you scan that QR code. They'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may or may not have about your VA loan, your mortgage loan, or maybe you're looking at buying a house. Along with that, you have PCS to Paradise. You can scan that QR code. They'd be more than happy to help you if you're active duty and you're being stationed out in Hawaii. But with that, Anna, I want to say thank you again for coming on the show. And I want to put you on the spot. Do you have any departing words of wisdom for anybody out there listening?
Ooh.
Or how about something to help them through a rough spot, or something, make them feel better about themselves, or just anything?
That's a good question. Well, I think you should
So
remember.
what's the one thing you tell yourself when you're having a bad day to help you get through it?
Oh, that's a great question. I think a variant of probably three things. One is you think people are thinking about you, but they're just thinking about themselves, right? And that's if I've done something that I think is embarrassing or someone's judging. The second one is in a year, you won't remember any of this. And I think I've had situations that I just obsess over, and then I just know 2 years from now, it'll be something else. And then the third one that I kind of like is if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And that's kind of my message to myself when I feel like something's not working because, I'm building.
Well, and that's important because, just like if you're going through recovery or anything, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. You have good days and bad days, and just know that eventually you'll make it through the bad days and things will be good. But hey, I want to listen. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Brian, I hope you have a great week. And yes, I will drink up. I just drink up. But you know what? Spring's here. A lot of things are going on. It's a very stressful time for a lot of people, especially if you're in recovery. Springtime can be hard. You wouldn't think it would be, but as you guys know, and I talked about this, with the reborning of coming out of winter, everything's kind of dark and gray. Now things are kind of getting light now. Days are longer. The flowers are blooming. And sometimes that change can create a lot of stress. So maybe you have a buddy, a friend that's gone a little quiet, or maybe they're just not the quiet, happy-go-lucky person they were. Give them a call, shoot them a text, see how they're doing. Maybe ask them out for a drink or go to the bar, or log on and make some coins or upload some coins together. It'd be a great time to do. You could laugh and joke about the coins you received in the military. But hey, we are brothers and sisters keepers out there, and let's look after each other. A kind word can really go a long way in somebody's life if they're having a bad time. So with that, you guys have a great and wonderful week. We will not have a podcast next week, so we'll probably replay this one on Reach Across America Radio, just so you know, Anna. And then
Awesome.
we'll pick up again. They will pick up again on I think the 13th, when I'll be back in the States. So hey, you guys have a great week, and we'll see you in about 2 weeks. Take care.
Thank you.